A total lunar eclipse, sometimes called a blood moon, is a phenomenon where the full moon appears with a reddish tinge similar to the color of blood, and thus it became known to some as the blood moon. For many ancient civilizations, the blood moon came with evil intent. The ancient Inca people interpreted the deep red coloring as a jaguar attacking and eating the moon. They believed that the jaguar might then turn its attention to Earth, so the people would shout, wave their spears, have their the dogs bark to try to make enough noise to drive the jaguar away. Although a total lunar eclipse might seem like a supernatural phenomenon, as humanity progresses, we are able to debunk the myth of the blood moon. An eclipse happens when the shadow of one celestial object falls on another celestial object. In a total lunar eclipse, the Earth comes directly between the Sun and the Moon. The shadow of the Earth falls on the Moon. The Moon's orbit surrounds the Earth, so supposedly there should be a lunar eclipse every time the Moon reaches the full Moon position. But the Moon's orbit is tilted, and so the Moon only crosses into the Earth's shadow under specific circumstances. The Moon's orbit is tilted, but it also wobbles. About 2 to 3 times each year, the Moon's orbit wobbles into just the right position where the Moon would pass through the shadow of the Earth. Well, now that the cause for a lunar eclipse has been solved, why does the Moon appear to be red during a lunar eclipse? The Moon turns red during an eclipse because of how the Sun's light interacts with Earth's atmosphere. As it hits the atmosphere, shorter wavelengths of light, such as the color blue, are scattered outwards. Longer wavelengths like red, however, are bent or refracted into Earth's umbra. When these strike the surface of the Moon, they can make it appear red, a similar process to how the sky appears red during a sunrise or sunset. The mysteries of a lunar eclipse have been solved, but what about the other celestial body visible by eye from Earth?
Every 16 months, a solar eclipse occurs on Earth. This happens when the moon lines up perfectly to cover our view of the sun. To observe a total solar eclipse, one must be completely within the moon's umbra, the darker middle part of the shadow. Compared to lunar eclipses, solar eclipses are much rarer, as the moon's umbra is much smaller than that of Earth's. Those in the penumbra, which is the lighter surrounding part of the shadow, can only view a partial eclipse. During the few minutes, during the few short minutes possible to view a total solar eclipse, the sky turns dark as if it were night. The sun appears to be a black void surrounded by a bright white ring of light called the corona. This ring of light is usually invisible due to the brightness of the sun, but during a solar eclipse, it is darkened, so the corona is visible. A solar eclipse happens during the new moon phase, but you may be wondering why it doesn't happen every single new moon. This is because the moon's orbit is tilted at an angle of 5 degrees compared to Earth's. And this tilt usually causes the Earth's um, the moon to usually miss blocking our view of the sun. However, during set periods of time, during what is known as a Saros, or one full rotation of the moon's wobble, um, the moon lines up perfectly to cover our view of the sun. This Saros happens once every 18 years.